for us, please. Thank you. Welcome everybody to today's meeting of Fresno City Toastmasters. My name is Chanel and I'm our current club president. Welcome to all of our guests today who are here in person and online. We're super excited to see some new faces. We like to start off all of our meetings by reading our mission statement, just for guests and also to remind our members why we're here and why we meet every week. The mission of Toastmasters is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. For those of us who are meeting here in person, I do want to give a few reminders for members as well. It's just to remember to sign in when we get here and make a name tag or pick a name tag if you already have one. For our guests, we're meeting. We've been meeting on Zoom for the past year and a half, and just a few weeks ago, we finally came back to meeting in person, which we're super excited about. So we're still trying to get back in the swing of things of all of those old Toastmasters etiquette pieces. The other thing is that, just so everybody's clear, we've decided that for when we're meeting in person, somebody should always be standing at the podium, because part of the Toastmasters etiquette is to never leave the podium empty. And so typically it will be the Toastmaster if they are here in person. If the Toastmaster happens to be on Zoom, then we will appoint somebody else who can fill the podium, maybe myself as president or someone else, so that it is always, so there's always somebody up here. Also, we do have restrooms available out this door and around the corner for anyone in person. So with that, I am going to pass it over to the Toastmaster today, who is myself. I am also our Toastmaster today. I'm going to introduce our theme and also introduce our special speaker today. Our theme for today is a few of my favorite things, which of course, for most of us, probably makes us think about The Sound of Music song sung by Julie Andrews, which The Sound of Music is my favorite movie. I've watched it many, many times. I enjoy all of the songs. I think that Julie Andrews' youthfulness and fun with the kids in that scene is very exciting, even though she is an adult herself. She knows how to connect with the children and it's fun and silly. We definitely enjoy that. So with our theme of the day, when we get to our table topics time at the end, we do have that. Table topics usually has something to do with the theme, and we'll discuss that more. But with that, I'm going to move into our presentation. We have our Area T3 Director, Caroline Ward, joining us today on Zoom, and she is going to be giving a Moments of Truth presentation. I also want to point out, I think Caroline said it would be about 10 to 15 minutes. Is that still accurate? Oh, you're muted.
8 to 10 minutes would probably be more along the lines.
8 to 10, okay, perfect, because we do have our speech today from Heather, so I just wanted to make sure that we would have plenty of time to hear from her, so 8 to 10 would be awesome.
So Caroline, did you want me as a timer to do green at 8, yellow at 9, and red at 10?
Yes, please.
Got it.
Okay, very good. So with that, I will, are you ready, Caroline?
Do you want to do general evaluator all that stuff?
Oh, that is first, right? Yeah, my bad. We're gonna do the general evaluator first, and then I'll get right back to you. I'm sorry, I skipped that.
No worries.
So our general evaluator today is Kalani Young. Kalani, could you please come up and tell us about your role and introduce our evaluation team?
Absolutely. Thank you, Madam President. As Chanel mentioned, my name is Kalani and I am the general evaluator for the day. My purpose is to essentially evaluate the efficiency and the quality of today's meeting. I will be following the reports at the end detailing any notes that I have throughout the meeting. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our grammarian of the day, Ms. Farron Jacobson.
Thank you, Kalani. Thank you, everyone. Today, I am the grammarian, so I will be keeping an ear out for everyone's correct grammar, as well as helping us to expand our vocabulary by including the word of the day in any speech that you give. The word of the day is affinity. It's a noun. It means a spontaneous or natural liking or sympathy for someone or something. For example, I have an affinity for R&B music from the 90s. So please try to use that in your speech today. And that's it. Back to Colin.
Thank you, Farron. Next, we'll be following with our counter of the day. I jumped in a little bit late, so I wasn't sure who took on that role.
We need a volunteer.
I can do that.
Thank you. Then he's going to do it.
All right, I will pass the purple to
Okay,
There we go.
I'm going to be the odd counter today, and I'm going to listen carefully as everyone speaks, whether it's for their speech or for their 2-minute topics, and write down words like filler words, things that we don't want to be using, and I'll do a report at the end.
Thank you, Denny, for jumping in on the spot. Next, I'm going to be introducing our timer and our Zoom master of the day. Or actually, I think
Yep.
might be the Zoom master of the day. But
You're
our
right.
timer of the day, Joey Myers.
Yes. Thank you. So I'm the timer and Farron, you're the Zoom, yeah? Is that what we decided? Yeah. So I'm the timer, and what I'll be doing here is whoever's speaking live will obviously show this to the live, and it will be green at whenever the start, or the, like with Caroline's speech. Yeah, 8 to 10 minute speech, she'll see green at 8 minutes, she'll see yellow at 9, and then red at 10 to wrap it up. And what I'll do, Caroline, is I'll try and get it on the edge of the table. So I'm trying here, so I'm gonna try, can you see this? You can see that color, okay? Color change? Color change.
Yes.
And then red up, okay. So when I do the time, I'll have it set right here. And then what we'll do, so that's for the speech. And then when we do the table topics, it will be 1 to 2 minute speech. So you'll get green at 1, yellow at 1.5, and 2 at red. And then for our evaluator, who's Denny, I think, right? Denny, evaluating Heather's speech, I think it is. She'll go, well, that'll be 2 to 3 minute speech, which will be green at 2, yellow at 2.5, and red at 3. So I'll be keeping the time of the meeting because I have a nice affinity to keep talking, and this helps me to not talk too much.
Thank you for that, Joey. Now I will be introducing our Zoom master of the day, Ms. Farron Jacobson.
Thank you again. As Zoom master, I started the recording of the meeting, and I will also spotlight our speakers so that they show up larger on the screen. Hopefully they're in the room. And that is the extent of my job today. Thank you.
Thank you, Farron. Up next, I will be introducing a special presentation that we have today. It will be by our Area G3 Director, Caroline Mork.
Thank you for that introduction, Kalani. Fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guests. The Moments of Truth is a part of the Successful Club series. And those are presentations about quality club meetings that members can learn the success and standards of skills that everybody should be striving for in their club to be successful. So don't worry if you're not familiar with the Moments of Truth, because by the time I'm done today, everybody should know these 3 things. One, the brief overview of the moments of truth. And then 2, how to facilitate the Moments of Truth program. And 3, a little tidbit for smaller clubs in the Moments of Truth. So jumping right in, Moments of Truth is a good way to, so for a good meeting to be key, okay, let me just start over, sorry. Key to a good quality meeting is all about the experience, right? How do you create a positive meeting experience for members and for guests? Well, the Moments of Truth is a sort of guideline for quality service and outstanding membership experience. Moments of Truth enables your club to guided evaluations and targeted recommendations, and each moment of truth is an opportunity for the club to create a positive experience. So as a club, you want every new and prospective member, their initial interactions with your club to be positive, right? So these times in that initial impression, when that's formed, that's considered a moment of truth. So a moment of truth is defined as when anyone comes in to contact with any aspect of Toastmasters. This person forms an impression based on his or her experience at that particular time. So clubs must remain cognizant in these decisive times to ensure that the experience with Toastmasters is a positive one. And there are 6 critical moments of truth which clubs have opportunities to create these positive experiences. 1, first impressions. 2, membership orientation. 3, fellowship, variety, and communication. 4 is in the programming, planning, and meeting organization. 5, membership strength, and 6, achievement recognition. So each of these 6 moments of truth have 6 best practices, which total 36. That's a lot of moments of truth. So I'll just briefly overview these moments of truth. First impressions. Well, think about what the guest's first impression and experiences when they observe your club, and whether or not these are impressions that encourage them to return. And then you have the member orientation. Ask yourself, to what degree do we acquaint new members with the Toastmasters education and recognition program and their responsibility to the club and the club's responsibility to them? And then fellowship, variety, and communication. As our organization's own founder, Ralph Smedley, once said, if we should ever lose the fellowship of personal, friendly relationships, we might easily just become another high-grade correspondence school. In the personal touch, all levels of our work is one of its distinguishing features. Our club must work hard to sustain a climate of caring and good fun. So does your club offer warm, friendly, supportive environment that encourages an enjoyable learning experience? So the 4th one is the program planning and meeting organization. Consider whether or not you have an organized meeting that's carefully planned and well-prepared speakers and evaluations that hit on the mark. Your membership strength. When the club has enough members to provide leadership and fill all the meeting roles and the committee assignments, it creates a lively, active club that benefits the members and draws in new members. And then recognizing accomplishments. Openly recognizing the members' contributions and notable accomplishments helps keep members motivated. We used to use in my club a chart that we hung up on the wall every meeting, and it had, this was back in the competent communicators section and legacy program, and we'd have everybody's name and you could see where people were at, and it kind of got this little competitive sort of streak between members to achieve more, and it was pretty cool. So now that you know what the moments of truth are, how you can facilitate the Moments of Truth program in your club and why you want to. There's many benefits to the Moments of Truth. As with Toastmasters, they've have like downloads and all kinds of resources available. You don't have to invent the wheel. You can just download it. And actually, I'm going to put in the chat box here a zip file for everyone that you can use as a tool. I went to the wrong section. I will do that in just 1 second here while I'm trying to give a presentation. I can't multitask, I guess. So there's a lot of benefits for your club to promoting this Moments of Truth program, and it also helps the members benefit personally and professionally in participating. So this, I call it a Moments of Truth toolkit, and it's going to be all the traditional downloads from Toastmasters resources, which they always have an item number. So the Moments of Truth in the Successful Club is item number 290A. And then there's going to be a sort of evaluation chart that goes along with that, some presentation slides, and a handout that you can use when you perform the Moments of Truth in your club. And that people can use to fill in and write club specific things that you guys are working on developing together. And you start by using these tools. And I just realized that I don't have the timer pinned. So I'm going to go into a different screen so that I can see the timer. Okay, perfect. And when you organize a special meeting for your club, you can use these tools to self-evaluate against the 6 standards of the Moments of Truth and agree on actions for continuous improvements. So you should do this maybe once a year, and so that making sure that your club is taking every opportunity to make good impressions when an individual comes in contact with your Toastmasters club. So ideally it should be done in January to give yourself enough time to make those improvements by June, which is the end of the Toastmaster year. So you arrange for a Toastmaster to plan in advance, facilitate the session, which it's recommended to have an external experienced Toastmaster, someone that can challenge the status quo. And then communicating in advance to your club officers and members, explaining the program to ensure that everyone is at a higher level of understanding increases the value of the session to your club members. Considerable time can be wasted just explaining the Moments of Truth. So take into account that guests will not always understand what's happening and maybe what could be expected of them. So this session should take up the entire meeting, and it's just offered to all the officers, members, and guests. And this is a sort of flexible agenda. You can go for 10 to 15 minutes into the Moments of Truth by the facilitator. Then you can work together for 20 minutes using the evaluation resource to stimulate discussion, and then summarize the findings and ask members to agree on some areas to focus on, which could also go for 5 to 10 minutes. And then conclude with a general discussion led by the facilitator and the value of revisiting to check the progress in a few months, which also would take 10 to 15 minutes. So now that you know how to facilitate the Moments of Truth program, I'm just going to share a little tidbit for smaller clubs. Just keep it simple. There's a lot of things here with like 36 different possible Moments of Truth can leave any size club feeling overwhelmed. And the way I explained how to facilitate the Moments of Truth program was actually modified for smaller clubs with lower number of members. Instead of breaking into groups, you would just focus on one aspect of the Moments of Truth and just pick a couple of things that you think as a club you can agree to do well on. And when you can, just add 2 to 3 minutes. I looked at the timer when I said that. When you can, just add 2 or 3 more items that you want to focus on, and then you just be continuing to develop a high quality club then. So renewing on this focus and the club member benefits, conducting this program will definitely help sustain a quality club and deliver the best member experience. Clubs that embrace the Moments of Truth enable their members to accomplish their goals, which enables the club to accomplish its goals for the DCP. So thanks to Chanel and for all of you guys at Fresno City Toastmasters for providing this opportunity to share this educational moment. Hopefully my presentation has been the ignition that sparks something in each of you. to want your club to shine more brightly in its next moment of truth?
Thank you, Caroline, for joining us and taking the time to share that. And especially thank you for your reminder at the end that it's better to do at least one small thing instead of nothing. I think all of us at Toastmasters sometimes we can feel overwhelmed with all of the improvements that are possible, but starting small and just choosing one thing that we can work on is really good advice. I am next going to introduce our speaker for today, who is Heather Davis. Heather is on level 2 of her pathway right now, and she will be giving the first speech in level 2. The speech is titled The Edge of 27. I almost said the edge of 17. The Edge of 27. Nearing the end of her 20s, Heather has learned a few valuable life lessons that she would like to share with you all. So put your hands together and welcome Heather as she shares top 10 life lessons with us.
And Heather, before you get started, make sure you have my video or our video pinned where you can see the timer. Okay.
That did not do what I wanted to do. Sorry, 1 second. I don't really pin very often.
Or just where you can see my video there on the side, or the not my video, but our
Okay.
video.
Okay, I see it. Okay. Okay. I'm not gonna lie to you. There was a very small, bigger part in me that wanted to cancel my speech today. As always, I wait till the last minute. I am a procrastinator at heart. But instead of running away and avoiding, I decided to tackle it head on, which is one of the lessons I've learned at 27, almost 28. And lately I've been doing a lot of self-reflection. It seems like us millennials do have an affinity for this. We do this often. It may have something to do with our increased depression, the pandemic, or it could just be our midlife crisis that seeks us out early in life. I mean, my 28th birthday is right around the corner, so there is that. If I'm being totally honest, my anxiety and my stress levels have skyrocketed to where they could briefly touch the stars and then come plummeting down to the earth in a fiery hot mess. And I'm being dramatic, aren't I? But that's the thing. If I'm feeling this way, then others must be feeling this way as well, if not worse. So in an effort to help others stop from making the same mistakes that I have made, I've compiled a list of the top 10 life lessons that I've learned under 30. Number 1, mindset matters. The words you say and the thoughts you think manifest from your head to your heart. So be wary of what you're telling yourself. If all you ever look is for a yellow car, that's all you're ever going to see. I don't outright believe in manifestation, but I do believe that what you tell yourself, the more you start to believe it. Number 2, pick your friends wisely. The older you get, the smaller your friend group becomes. So you want quality over quantity. And as you grow older, your relationships are going to change. And so your priorities too. So just keep in mind of who you keep close to your heart. You'd want people to uplift you and not hold you down. Number 3, live in the now, save for the future. Live your life. Make those memories because you never know when you'll have the opportunity again. But make sure that you save to be able to live your daily life. Find the balance to the best of your ability. And I'm not saying that it will be easy by any means. In fact, this is one of my biggest struggles. But in time, it will get easier. Money has never been the easiest thing for me. So that's a lifelong lesson that I hope others will learn earlier rather than later, like I did. Number 4, keep finances personal. I'm not saying that you can't talk about what you make or how much you make or anything like that. Of course, you want to spread the wealth and teach others how to make money as well. But when you do get large lump sums of money, you want to keep that on the down low. Don't spread that, because as soon as your family and friends hear that you have money, they start to think that you're a bank and that you can do personal loans. Try not to do that if you can, because when you mix money with family and friends, things get messy real quick. However, if you do, I suggest that you document and sign and make things very, very clear as to whether this is a loan or a gift. Number 5, this is for all of my married people out there. Know your partner's love language. Chapman wrote a book that has truly transformed my marriage, in the sense of just learning and understanding that we may speak English, but we may not understand each other because we have different needs and different things that we may not say. My love language is acts of service, and my husband is physical touch, and learning how to help fulfill those needs for each other and for ourselves has truly dramatically changed the way we see our marriage. Number 6, you will never know unless you ask. This is my personal motto. It has opened many doors for myself. It's always very scary to put yourself out there, like right now, but unless you try, you will never know. And I don't want to have it said that I didn't try, I didn't ask, because I don't like things left unsaid. I want to either get that yes or that no. And the worst they can say is no. Maybe laugh at you a little bit embarrassment might come into play depending on what you're asking, but you'll never know unless you ask. Number 7, be firm in your faith. A lifelong lesson that will never get easier. All I can say on this when talking about faith is to be kind to each other and listen to understand, not to respond. Number 8, do not take your health for granted. You won't be young forever, and even if you are, that does not guarantee a healthy life. So take care of your body now, so we'll take care of you in the future. Number 9, don't let others' dishonor taint your victory. And if any of you are an Avatar: The Last Airbender fan, you would know that was a quote from Uncle Iroh, who is a hero of mine. And it may be an anime for children, but I promise you that series is one of the most amazing adult-filled life lessons that anyone can learn at any age. So don't let others spoil your victory. Don't stoop to their level. Don't make yourself the bad guy when they are, and not necessarily that they're the bad guy, but again, don't stoop to their level. Be the better person, turn the other cheek. And then lastly, don't place high expectations on others. I'm not saying don't expect from others, but be careful of what you're asking of them. If you wouldn't ask yourself to do it, why are you asking others? So just be realistic about that. And then a bonus life lesson is, if something is bothering you still after 24 to 48 hours, find a way to let it out, because clearly it's going to be something that is going to bother you for a while. So find a way to talk it out, write it out. Don't leave that in, don't bottle it up, because it's only going to explode later on. So these are just a few of the life lessons that I have learned in my short 27 years, which again, just to recap, was mindset matters, pick your friends wisely, live in the now, save for the future, keep your finances personal, know your partner's love language, you will never know unless you ask, be firm in your faith, do not take your health for granted, don't let others taint your victory, and don't place high expectations on others. And I know we're all in different stages of our lives, but my hope is that some of these life lessons I have learned can help you too. Thank you.
Thank you, Heather.
Thank you.
I would like to say thank you also for choosing to do your speech today, even when it could have been easy not to. I've been there multiple times, but I know that I speak for everybody that the club is blessed when people are able to take speeches and we're able to hear from you. And your heart really shines through so much when you speak.
Thank you.
We are going to move on now to our table topics timer. How much time do we have for table topics?
This is 12:38. We have about 6 minutes.
6
Oh,
minutes.
actually, we have more than 6 minutes because we only have one evaluator, right? Danny, only one evaluator.
Mhm.
Maybe 8 minutes, 4 people.
3 or 4 people?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to invite our table topic master for today to come up to the podium, who is Mike Wu. Everybody please welcome.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mike, and I'm your table topic master today. And table topics is to cultivate our ability to talk spontaneously. Give a topic, and you have just a few seconds to come up here and think on your feet to talk about a minute or two. And today I would like to challenge you to come up with a very interesting subject to talk. And I've been in this club for a while, and in the history, they always say, we should avoid talk about politics and religion. And I think we should not avoid, we should be frank and talk about it and find out why we are hesitant to talk about it, so we can find a solution and we can be frank and solve our differences. So with that said, I would like to invite one of our guests or our fellow Toastmasters to come up, talk about anything you think interesting about religion. Anybody? Any take?
A heavy hitter for the guests today.
1 or 2 minutes.
And there's also too, the theme is a few of my favorite things, so they can talk about religion or politics.
All right. Thank you, Denny.
Okay, Mike, we're picking out a very controversial subject. This year at my home, I have a 14-year-old granddaughter from Mexico, and we placed her in parochial school in Reedley. So she's going Catholic school, and I get to go to Mass every Friday with her. And not Catholic myself, but I go. So we're looking for things that we have in common. She has a religion class, of course, and there are many things that we talk about that come up in her religion class, and there are things that go across all planes, I think, when it comes to religion and the things that we think about. Like just yesterday, she was asking me about, what do I think happens after you die? Little questions. It all sparks conversation, which is great. So at the end of the day, I pick up a very simple book that I bought by Dennis Prager, that's the 10 Commandments. And I read those. I say, which number do you like tonight? And we read it and we talk about it, because no matter what religion, I feel that the 10 Commandments are a great basis for life and for society, getting along with other people, and being nice to each other. So that's where we're at with religion.
Would escape that one.
With that said, anyone else would like to come up here? You have a little more advantage over Denny, because she gave you like 2 minutes.
Had to think about it.
What to talk. Anybody?
I can say something.
Okay. Oh,
Our
Barbara.
new guest.
And then Barbara, we'll do that. So Heather first.
Oh, okay. So I'm a Christian. I grew up in that faith. It wasn't until I met my husband at 19 that I realized just how different within Christianity the faith people can believe. I have always identified as an evangelical, someone, I guess, more contemporary, modern, is the best way I could describe it, in comparison to my husband, who grew up at Church of Christ, which is very, very strict. pews, only, choir led by your voice, no music or instruments allowed. And that was quite a bit of a shock to me, because I always believed Christians are Christians, So it wasn't until we really started to get more serious that we kind of have found that balance. And there still are things that we like, I believe that and I believe this, but we have found that common ground. And I just had to share, that little tidbit, because I just always thought a Christian is a Christian, but some people like their titles. So that's something that I learned. And, I wonder if you guys knew the same thing.
Our guest,
Barbara.
Yeah, flip the chicken. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
I'm Barbara Trick. Nice to meet you guys. I went to Fresno Christian, actually, growing up. I went to Mountain View Christian and then Fresno Christian. And then I went to San Diego State. And that was a rude awakening for my life. I grew up in a very traditional Armenian home, of which my father had an affinity for wolves. So growing up in the Christian school environment, I was extremely sheltered. I thought I knew so much about the world. I thought I was so well educated. I thought I was so worldly, because I felt like I got exposed to so many different things. And then as soon as I went to San Diego State, I realized that I was not as worldly as I thought I was, and that there was so much else outside of. I still hold on to my religious values, but that my opinion and the way that I was raised in this tiny little sect in a school that had 200 kids for 13 years, that maybe there's other ways to look at things, and just because it's not my way and how I was raised, maybe there's a different level of opinion. And I ended up marrying someone who actually was raised on the opposite end of no religion, and we've been together 10 years. I don't know how it's worked, but yeah, it's been a nice experience to realize that just because you're raised a certain way doesn't mean that other people's beliefs can't still meld into your life.
thank you, Barbara. And Julie, how's time doing? We have time.
Probably have maybe time for one or two more.
Okay, let's do two more. So we have 3 people who have not spoken yet. Anybody?
Oh, yeah, good one.
Oh, yeah, over there. I'm sorry. Yes, we'll have a lot more people over there. 2 or 3 more over there that have not spoken yet. Anybody? 1, 2, 3. Joey.
Here, take my time.
All right.
Good.
Thank you, sir. Hello, I actually want to touch the political side, except not get into politics. Many of us over the last couple of years have really learned a lot about ourselves, I think, and learned a lot about our friends and family, and some of us not so good, some of us good. And I think the 2 or 3 big things that I learned just for myself to make sure that we are doing to stay on some sort of a line. One was critical thinking. So I think, and everybody's got a different definition of critical thinking. My definition of critical thinking is trying to look at the broad view first, the 10,000, 30,000 foot view, however you look at that, and look at what the main overarching principles are, and then start to scale down. And I think a lot of people, what tends to happen, me included, is you tend to look at the small little micro things, and then you come out from there. But usually people don't get to that 10,000 foot view if you go small. The second one is kind of goes along with critical thinking, is discernment. So discernment is something where you want to take something and discern whether it is true, whether it is fact, whether it is validated by whatever it is. And again, there's a lot of definitions. Everybody has their own definition of discernment, what's true and what's fact. But I think if you come from a 10,000 foot view and start to scale down, I think discernment becomes a little bit easier to figure out what is true and what isn't. Again, taking one side, taking the other side, and seeing where everything meets in the middle. It is the perfect investigative tools, what cops do when they come into a domestic violence. I was a criminology major in school, and we study a lot of this stuff. They come into domestic violence, you got a woman, you got a man, or man, woman who fight with each other. One cop takes one person in one room, other cop takes the other person in another room, or the same cop, talking in different rooms where they don't know what's going on. We do this with our kids. To get this story, we get one story, we get another story, and then we get, okay, what is the overlapping part, which tends to be more of the fact or the truth side of things. So I think we can do that with information, we can do that with news, we can do that with whatever is taking a little bit of both sides and then seeing where that middle is. So really those two, I think the critical thinking and discernment are the two big things I learned in the last couple of years to help with information, because I believe we're in an information war right now, and it's up to us to be able to discern and critical think and things like that, so that we don't go crazy. So
That's it?
do one more.
No, I mean, you still have, no, I don't know how to operate that.
I probably should turn it around. So you want to come back up and then
Oh, yeah.
Reintroduce. You know,
Joey?
right?
Or actually, you
Or-
can introduce Kalani.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
introduce the evaluator.
We introduced Claudia.
Yep.
You introduce.
Evaluator, right?
Just like call her up.
So Claudia, right now, you are the evaluator for the speed.
Turn it back to Colin.
Yeah, Claudia. Step up.
Thank you, Michael, for that introduction. And thank you for bringing up that table topic. I, for one, tend to have an affinity to ask the most challenging questions and uncomfortable questions and topics. Unfortunately, this one time I couldn't figure out how to condense my thoughts on this topic into 1 or 2 minutes to keep it appropriate for this meeting. So that being said, I will volunteer next time. Heather, now I'm going to introduce our evaluator of your very well done speech, in my opinion, Miss Denny Mason.
Did they freeze?
They did.
Yeah, they froze.
Connect. Oh. Perks of a hybrid meeting.
Chanel's jumping on.
We were so close.
I was so nervous I was going to lose connection during my speech too. Thankfully, I held out.
You did really good on your speech. Good job.
Thank you. I'm just thankful it's not in person. Otherwise, you probably would hear my pounding heart.
We can see you guys, but we can't hear you.
There's Farron.
Baron.
Okay, I can hear you guys now.
I think so, yeah.
Okay,
We just
I can't see you, Heather, but I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Yay. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead with the evaluation. There you are. I see you on the screen. Okay, I'll come back. Yay, pop, 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 pop. There you go. That's great. Heather, great job on your speech. Really good. You put a lot of time into that, and I'm going to keep all these 11 points because I thought they were very valuable information. Really good for 27. You did a great job with your projection, your hand movements. I thought you've got the Zoom part down pretty well. So you filled the frame. We were able to see you, hear you clearly. I think as far as the technical aspects, you did a great job. I did see, okay, that the
Well, that's a bummer.
really your topic and keep going, because once you relax a little bit, man, it just comes across so great. I love that. You have a lot of energy in there. Anyway, great job on your speech. I loved all the points. You put a lot of thought into it, and I think the information was super valuable. Plus, I think you come at it from a perspective of your age that's also very valuable for those of us who are younger and older than you. So thank you very much, Heather. It was a great speech. Good job.
How much of that did you catch?
I kind of got the beginning and end. I picked up right when she was talking about, I didn't know if she said I was relaxed or wasn't relaxed. It could go both ways.
Okay.
You should have seen it was pandemonium in here when she was talking. We were just cheering. There was hoorays. It was the whole thing. You guys missed it. That's right. That's why we recorded it. Actually, no, it would have been. It was we the recording would have missed it too. Yeah.
Probably.
That's right. We'll have to. Maybe we'll do a speech just on Denny's evaluation.
Or, I mean, Denny, if you want, or if you don't mind emailing me, that would be wonderful too. I would appreciate that.
Very good one, Heather.
You bet.
Thank you.
You passed.
Okay. So back to Kalani.
All right, fantastic. Thank you for that. Thank you for that very thorough evaluation there, Denny. We wish we could have heard all of it, but from what we did hear, it was great. Can't wait to hear the rest of it. That being said, I'm going to introduce the timer, all counter, grammarian, and I'll be giving my evaluation. We are a little bit strained for time, so I'm going to ask if we can wrap it up just a little bit faster with our reports. That being said, Mr. Joey Myers, I will go ahead and introduce you for the timer report.
Thank you. I will go fast because you know my affinity for speaking. Our speakers today, Caroline, she came in at 10:35, so not too bad. Heather came in 7:26, pretty good. Evaluation Denny at 2:14. And our table topics, we had Denny at 1:36, Heather at 1:13, Barbara at 1:35. Miss anybody? Is there one more?
You at 2:55.
2:55, so there's that affinity for talking too much.
Thank you for that report, Joey. I'm going to go ahead and introduce our all counter report from Miss Denny Mason.
Oh, yeah. Again. You can hear me now, right? Okay. Yeah. Very good. Mike and that's your word. Barbara has a few ums in it. That's the only thing you need to work on.
Good.
Joey, you were good. Come on, you had a new one, which is that being said.
Ah.
That one's been said a couple of times. Oh, and Joey, I did have one thing that I've never seen you do before. You scratched your head and did
Oh, geez.
That was pretty good. And Heather, you had a couple of ums and uhs in there. All right.
Thank you for your report. Next is going to be our grammarian of the day, Miss Karen.
Thank you. Either I was not paying attention well enough, or we didn't really have an affinity for using the word today. I got it from Heather and Kalani, and then Joey had an affinity for the word affinity. He said it 4 times. I didn't hear anyone else say it, so I may have missed you. Let me know if I did.
I think I used it. in-
Yeah, Barbara used it.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, you did. You're taking notes up.
Great job, everyone.
Extra for the rest of us.
Yes.
So his covers everybody who didn't use it.
Thank you, Farron. For my, sorry, y'all, there's a little bit of a delay on my end, so the applause always comes after. But thank you, Farron, for your report. My report, I think that we were able to handle most of the hiccups pretty efficiently, able to get back on topic pretty quickly. So I do appreciate that. And when I did ask for a quicker report at the end, just to make sure we stayed on time, we knocked that out pretty quickly. So thank you for that. My report. I will pass the podium back to Madam President.
Thank you, Kalani. And what time are we at?
12:59.
12:59, okay. I'll wrap up quickly then. We like to hand out stickers to our members and guests for taking on roles. So virtual sticker to Farron for taking over the role of Zoom Master today. Virtual sticker to Heather for her awesome speech. A real sticker to Miss Denny for also taking over the role of off-count Twitter. A guest position has quite a lot of stickers. Been here a long time. And I think that's it. Yeah, we'll stop there. So we real quickly before we end the meeting, because I know we have to get going, we want to say thank you to all of our guests for being here today. Super good to see you guys in person and on Zoom. If you have to get going, we understand, but we usually at the end will just ask guests if there's any feedback or comments or questions that they might have that we can answer for you in person and the guests we have on Zoom.
Hi, sorry. I just want to say it was really good. I'm glad to hear that there's a program like this or a group that's like this. Heather, you did really well, and I hope to hopefully be as well as you someday. But I liked it, and I'm glad that we can be able to do it virtually and in person as well.
Thanks, Monica.
And
I do have a question. I don't know, this is like my first time. I really want to grow as a person, but I'm not sure what I have to do, to be part of the Toastmasters. And then,
Talk to him after the meeting.
yeah, we'll get you all set up.
Mhm.
Yeah. Definitely.
Barbara?
Do you have anything?
I don't think so. I have a lot of questions, but not sure what.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are available, I think. So we have both of your emails, and Monica, we already had her email, so we can contact you guys. All right, and then real quickly, we're going to fill out the agenda for next week. I am speaking. Yay. I mean, somebody to volunteer to be Toastmaster, general evaluator for my speech, table topics master.
I'm good for whatever you need me for. I can evaluate if you want me to. I can.
I can evaluate because you did it today.
So just evaluate, that's fine.
Toastmaster.
Yeah. Denny Toastmaster.
Okay, and let's see.
Anybody online?
Farron, Heather, Kalani, if you're planning on coming next week.
I can take whatever role.
All right, Heather.
I'm sorry, I have to go, but I will take general evaluator if that's open.
Yes, it is.
Got it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Heather. Have a good week.
Guys,
I'll send you.
thank you.
And Farron, you want to do table topics?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, and Kalani, are you going to be here next week?
Yep, whatever you need.
Okay, I'll put you down for Grammarian for now. Okay, thank you. Sorry about going a little bit
Mike?
over time.
You want to jump in?
Oh, yeah.
What?
You want to roll next week?
Is it all filled up? Well, not yet.
Calendar.
the odd counter, timer?
Timer.
Yeah.
Timer.
Timer, okay, perfect. Okay. With that, I will officially adjourn the meeting then. Thank you, everyone.
All right, see ya.